Afternoon, Bradley. I was looking forward to Wednesday to hear your counsel. I always look forward. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was in the old mastermind back when we had Zane, Zane Miller, who ghosted us, just completely dropped off the face of the planet, never contacted us again. I never understood what happened with that, but whatever. Whatever happened to him, I have no idea. Nobody knows. Whatever. Anyways, does pointing an expired domain to a maps URL increase metrics on those links? To a maps URL, I pointed one and the metrics are not showing up and it's been a month. Maybe I'm pointing at the wrong link. How are other ways to increase the power of the maps URL? Well, it depends on what link you're pointing the links to, right? Here's the thing. Remember, a Google Map URL, there's multiple versions of it, right? There's the CID map URL. There's the share map URL, which changes. Sorry.
All right.
Oh, there's the CID URL, which that's not going to change. That's the only URL that you can push link equity into anyways. And I don't recommend building a lot of links to that because nobody builds links to that but SEOs, because nobody even knows how to get that link. Nobody knows how to get the CID. Nobody knows what a CID map URL is except for us. You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't make sense to build links to that. The map share URL, that's going to change. Like that changes each time you generate it. It can change, right? It can be a different string of characters. It all redirects to the same thing. But not only that, it's a 302 redirect. So it doesn't push any link equity into the map. So you don't get any benefit from that. There is a benefit to build links to the map share URL though, because Google expects to see maps or links built to that URL. And where it really matters is getting click-through activity through that map share URL. That is expected. So CTR manipulation through a map share URL is a great signal. But you could also build links to the real long, ugly URL. But I don't recommend that either. So because you'd have to, it depends on, you have to track. I don't know what just happened. What the hell just happened? I just lost my, let me try to get it back, guys. I don't know what just happened, but I lost my page. Anyway, what I was going to say was, are we still on? I lost everything for a minute.
Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, we're still good.
Okay. My whole monitor just like freaked out on me for a minute, had a seizure. Anyway, the map URL, you also got to look at the different URLs that you built links to and make sure that you're tracking the backlinks pointing to that specific URL. So like in Majestic, when you are looking at a URL, it's only going to show you the backlinks pointing to that specific URL. And there's different versions of that. It's 5 o'clock, so I know we got to run. But for example, if you build links to an HTTPS version of a URL, and then you check HTTP version, you're not going to see the backlinks built to it because the backlinks were built to the HTTPS version. So you got to be real careful. If you're building links to a map URL, you got to make sure that you're checking that map, that specific version of the URL to see those links built to it. Does that make sense? So I don't recommend like trying to, you know, for maps, the best thing to do is to do embeds, Google Map embeds. That's the best thing to do. That's typically what I do. Okay. Yeah, and you really don't need to, I mean, again, the CID map URL is the only map URL that you can push link equity into the map with, and I don't like to do that. I only try to do that very, very, very strategically.